Hi, sweetie. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to make my vodka pasta. I just decided that I would go ahead and do this so maybe you can have a little video to reference. So basically, this pot, usually I use a bigger pot than this, but I have it almost full of water. You don't really need to measure the water, but you're just going to put it almost full of water and then put a ton of salt. I open this thing and I literally just pour salt in there. So you will always want your pasta water to be super salty because when the pasta cooks, it's gonna absorb the water, so it'll make the pasta itself a little bit salty. So then I put my pasta in there. I used half of this box for the two of us. We could probably use a little bit more, but I used half because that was all we had. And then I put it on 8. Usually I put it on 10, and then once it starts boiling, I put it down to 8. So once the water starts boiling, that's when you add the pasta, and then I just put it down to 8 so that it doesn't overflow. And then over here, I have a saucepan, but you can also use another one of these pots of the same size. Sorry, my phone just went on low battery, and I didn't know if it would stop the video or not. But you can also use one of these. Usually I'll use another one of these for this, but this time we didn't have one clean, so I just used a saucepan, which is what you're normally supposed to use for something like this. But I just cut up half of an onion on the cutting board over here, and I just cut it up really small, and then I put it in here with a ton of olive oil because the onion will kind of absorb some of the olive oil, but it's nice to have olive oil in your pasta sauce because it just makes it a lot more rich, and it helps things cook evenly. So yes, I have garlic that I'm going to put in with the onion, but I always do the onion first because if you put the garlic in at the same time, the garlic will burn. The garlic cooks a lot faster than the onion. So yeah, I'm just kind of cooking it here. You can see it's already kind of yellow, but once it starts getting a little bit brown, then we're going to add the garlic. So yeah, and also this is the other half of the onion. I only did one half of the onion. It's kind of a small onion, but yeah. Whatever size onion I have, I always just do half of it because I feel half is good. It's not really precise, but yeah, that's the other onion. So yeah, I will check back in when it's time to add the garlic, and I'll let you know what I'm doing. Okay, so it's literally been less than 2 minutes. You can see that the onion is becoming brown, right? And that's probably because I have this on... Yeah, I have it on high heat right now. Normally I do it on medium to high, and when a recipe says medium to high, it just means in between. So this is medium, this is high. It just means in between that, so 8 or whatever. So yeah, but I'm doing it a little quicker right now because I just am impatient, and also my water was boiling before I had even cut the onion. So I just put it on high. But yeah, so now I'm gonna add the garlic. I'm also gonna make sure to, I usually use the same spatula. It doesn't really matter if you get a little bit of whatever in the water. But make sure to mix your pasta, especially if you're using a smaller pot like this. The pasta will stick together. Oops, spilled a little bit of water, but it's okay. But yeah, the pasta will stick together, so you have to be careful. But yeah, so we're gonna add garlic now. This is the minced garlic. I'm gonna put you down for a moment while I open it. And then I'm gonna actually just use this knife that I used to cut the onion, and I'm just gonna put a heaping thing of garlic in here. I can't exactly do this with one hand, so give me a moment. I'll show you what I did once I do it. So yeah, you can hear it cooking. It's a little bit loud. But yeah, you can see it in the middle there. So you're gonna do a pretty good heaping of garlic. And you're just gonna mix it all around. And now, since we have the garlic in there and garlic burns very easily, I'm gonna turn it down to about 6. So I'm gonna cool down the pan a little bit. Make sure we don't burn anything. As you can see, the onions are really nice and cooked. We're gonna let this go for just a little bit, maybe a minute or so. Garlic does not take long at all to become fragrant. usually says like cook it until fragrant, which means like just cook the garlic until you can smell a lot of garlic. But I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, do I smell garlic or do I smell everything that I'm cooking right now? So I don't really know like if that's amazing advice or anything. But yeah, so I'll let that go for maybe like 1.5 minutes. I'm gonna mix this again. It's looking like it's almost done. Like the pasta's really inflated with the amount of water that it absorbed, which is how you kind of know that it's like almost done. Something you can do to check if it's done though is just like grab a little piece out, not with your hand, with like a spoon or something, or I can't get it with this, but you know, and then I put it on like a paper towel or something to let it cool down, and then I just like squeeze it with my fingers and see if it's like soft. But yeah, so now we're gonna take this can of tomato paste. You're gonna use like half a can, and I'm gonna open it with my can opener. Put you down while I do that. You don't know how to use a can opener. You just open it and snap it until this little blade is like on the can, and then you're gonna twist it. With this hand, you're just gonna twist it, and it should like go around the can. Obviously, I can't show you that because I only have one hand. Okay. Here we go. The can has been opened. I'm taking the lid out. Going to mix this so it doesn't burn. And now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it down all the way to low, because that is looking very brown. And then I'm gonna take a spoon and I'm gonna get out around half of this tomato paste. And I'm just gonna put the half into the pan. And I do it like this because I just want the tomato paste to like get a little bit warm. So I like mix it in with the garlic and the onion and just have it like warm up the tomato paste. Because once you put in like the milk and stuff, the tomato paste isn't gonna like melt down or anything right here, but once you put in the liquid, it will melt down. So yeah, it doesn't look like this is doing anything, but I promise it is. It's just like getting it kind of warm so it can start melting once we add the liquid. And I will make another video because this one's kind of long. Okay, so now this is where you might get a little scared. We're gonna be measuring with our heart, okay? You're just gonna pour in some heavy whipping cream. If I can get the fucking lid off. This one, make sure it's not expired. Give it a little sniff. If you must. That's what I do because I have anxiety. And then I'm just going to pour some in. Just like that. Not anything super crazy. It's going to look like that. And then what we're also going to do, you could do this with chicken broth or you could do it with water if you wanted. I just do it with milk so it's like extra creamy. Here's the milk. We're just going to pour in some of this. Just to add to the liquid, because if you have too much heavy cream, it's going to be like super thick, like too thick. But if you add some milk into it, it's going to be a lot better. So I would say maybe like, I don't know, 1.5 cups of heavy cream and 2 cups of milk maybe? I really don't know. Every single time I make this, it's a little bit different, but it's always good. So it's kind of just something that you learn over time. But if you're making this for us or something, and if you're scared or like you don't know how much to do, just ask me, because I'll be there, most likely. Unless you decide randomly that you want a beautiful Italian dinner for yourself while I'm gone. And man, if you want to do that, you should do that, man. Just saying. But yeah, as you can see, I'm like kind of smushing down the chunks of tomato paste. And it's kind of going to just, like, help it melt into the liquid. And while we're here, we'll turn this back up to 6. So it can, as they say, simmer. And that is clearly done. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but that is clearly done. Like, see how it's, like, gathering this, like, bubbly, like, froth in the middle and stuff, and the pasta looks so like thick, and yeah, it's done. So we don't want to overdo it, so we're going to turn off the heat. We're going to move this here. And the pasta is getting done a little bit earlier than the sauce this time, which is not my favorite thing ever, but that's okay, because it will be okay. Sometimes you just have to go with it. Because the sauce will be nice and hot, so if the pasta like cools down or anything, then it should be fine. So we'll just add it back into this pasta sauce. And usually when I make the pasta sauce, I do it in a pot that's this size, and then I use this this big ass pot for the actual pasta itself, so that when the sauce is done, I pour the sauce onto the drained pasta like in the bigger pot. But since this pan is a lot bigger than this pot, I'm just gonna pour the pasta into the sauce instead and mix it up that way. So as you can see, it's like pretty combined now. All you're really seeing is like a few tiny chunks of tomato paste, and then you have your onions and garlic in there, which are obviously not going to become entirely smooth. But I kind of like it that way. So now, let me drain this. I will be right back. So, we drained our pasta. I now have a new spatula because the one that I was using fell on the floor. Toe shot. Alright, see how it's like kind of bubbling? Love that. We want that. So, as this bubbles, it's going to get thicker and thicker. And then you're going to know when it's a salt. Like right now, it's like kind of watery. Like it's kind of like a thick, like hot chocolate or chocolate milk or something like that. But you want it to be thicker than this. So now we're going to add all of our seasonings in here. So we have sugar. Let me put this milk and stuff away. And then we're almost out of heavy cream, so put that shit on the list. Don't forget, boy, when you're cooking, if you're out of something, put that shit on the list. You gotta do it. So I have parsley, which is mostly just for like making it look good. Paprika. Garlic and onion powder. We're almost out of this. I don't know if we have another one, but I'll have to check. And then salt and pepper. And I know you like this salt, but this is too thick to put in. It's too chunky to put in a sauce because it wouldn't dissolve, and it would just be like massive chunks of salt in every bite, which would not be very good. So I learned that this is mostly just for finishing things. So like adding a little bit sprinkle on top of like a cookie or some shit. But yeah. So we're gonna do garlic. Don't be shy about the garlic. We love some garlic. And then do some onion. Sometimes I have to like shake it up a little. This one comes out really slow, so you gotta really like shake it for a while. Maybe like that. We'll do some parsley. Again, this is just for looks, so it doesn't really matter how much you put. We'll do pepper. This shit comes out real fast, so be careful. Be like that much. Paprika. Just a little bit of paprika. Maybe like 2 little squirts. I always squeeze this thing because it's hard to like shake it. And then salt. This comes out really fast, obviously, so be very careful. And then we do a pinch of sugar. Like this. There you go. Now we're gonna mix it. See how it's like wrinkling kind of? That's because it's thickening up. So you gotta make sure you continuously stir it. Like this. Yum. And listen, like sometimes you're gonna mess up. Sometimes you're gonna put a little bit too much salt. You know I've done that a few times. Sometimes you're gonna put in too much garlic or too much onion or whatever it may be. Or not enough. And that's why you gotta taste it. So sometimes, because it's just me and you eating it, you don't really have to worry about, like, spit and shit. So sometimes I'll just lick it a little, and I'll be like... That's pretty good. That is pretty good. I feel like... let me try it one more time. It could use a little bit more salt. Which, you know me, like, I go heavy-handed on the salt, but I'm trying to be better with that. Put a little bit more. And I always make sure to scrape the sides. And see, you can, like, see how thick it's getting. Like, it's getting thicker, you know? You know? So, usually at this stage, like, what we're gonna do is have some edamame with this. So, I'm going to grab some. This is edamame, right? Yes, this is edamame. And we're gonna go ahead and steam that in the microwave. And pop this open. Put it in there for like 3 minutes. And then after 3 minutes, I take it out and like give it a shake and put it in for 3 more minutes. I don't know if it says to do that on the bag, but that's how I do it and it works. So fuck them. Fuck them. But yeah, this is it. If you want, you could add some bacon to this. That would be so good. But we don't have that right now because we're poor. But usually, like, fresh bacon, you would cook the bacon first on the pan. And then you would take it off, remove it, and leave, like, the bacon grease. And then you would use the bacon grease instead of olive oil. And cook the onion and garlic in the bacon grease. And that shit's gas, bro! It's gas. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. Now what we're gonna do at this stage, you can see it's like once you move it like that and it takes a while for it to like go back, that's how you know that shit is done. So we're gonna turn it down to low. And now I'm gonna take my Parmesan and open it up. And I'm going to do a little bit of Parmesan at a time. Just a little sprinkle at a time. And slowly mix it up and let that melt. And you're gonna do about 3 or 4 little handfuls of Parmesan. And that's by my hand. So maybe not as big as a handful would be to you. Maybe like 2.5 to 3 steaming handfuls. But yeah, I just grab it with like the tips of my fingers like that and then sprinkle. And the reason why we add it a little bit at a time is because if you add it all at once, you risk the cheese like clumping together and just being all clumpy. I don't really know why it does that. But yeah, the cheese will like stick to itself, I guess. So yeah, see how much thicker it is now? Like, especially when you add the cheese, it like makes it super thick. So we're gonna go ahead and cut off the heat all the way. I'm gonna do one more thing of cheese because I really like cheese. And then mix that. It's really thick. If you don't like your sauce this thick, or if it's too thick, you can add a little bit of water back into it. And it's really good to keep like a little bit of pasta water, because the starch from the pasta like helps the sauce. Again, I don't know like the science behind that. It's just something I've always been told. So yeah, it helps it. It helps it. It's good. But low key, I just be using regular water sometimes. Okay, now you can still feel that this is like, it's not hot yet, it's just warm. Take it Put it back. Boom. 3 more minutes. Boom, boom, boom. So that's done. Now we're gonna put this in there. Oh god. Ew, that was kind of gross. It's because the pasta's been sitting for a minute. So it's like sticking. That was fucking gross, I can't lie. Okay. All that. And the pasta's a little bit overdone. You can kind of tell because it's like very fragile. But yeah, you're just gonna mix this shit together. Mix it up. Yeah, it sounds like pee. Sounds like good pee. That's how you know it's gonna be bus. Fuck. But yeah, it's done. Like, it's done. You can top it with some more Parmesan. But yeah, like, yeah, dude. And then we're gonna have edamame. What I usually do for the edamame, I drain it. I like cut a little snippet in the side, drain all the water out, and then I would like put it in a bowl and put a bunch of salt over it, and then like kind of mix it up. So it's like a little bit salty edamame. Yeah. Oh my god, it looks so good. I'm gonna flip this shit up for real. Okay. This has been my tutorial. Look how fucking insane the countertop looks. This is because I was doing the tutorial and not putting shit away. But usually while you're cooking, you put shit away while you're working. Because otherwise you're gonna have a big old mess. So yeah. I hope that was good, baby. I was helpful, man.